Okay, we are talking shoulder instability today and some exercises you can do with a kettlebell to help. Now, what's cool about the kettlebell is that you can do the exercises bottoms up. That's what they call this. And why this makes the shoulder instability exercise a little bit harder and better, in my opinion, is it puts the weight really distal from the joint, right? If you have your arm all the way up overhead, that weight's really far from your arm and makes it harder to do. You can also do it not quite as hard with a kettlebell, and it's a little bit different if you lay it back like this. It puts the weight on the back side of your wrist. It's not as far from the joint, but it actually wants to pull your arm back like this. So
well, and if you do it that way, you got to switch your watch around.
Yes.
Or you're going to break it.
You'll break your watch. So don't do that.
Important tips.
Right. But yeah, if you have or if you're experiencing some shoulder instability and you have a kettlebell, we're going to show you 3 of our favorite ones to do today. So the first one, Nadine will show us. Go ahead. Let's see what you got.
All right, so first one we're gonna do, you're gonna have the bottoms up kettlebell. I have this little guy today. This is actually a lot of wrist stability as well as shoulder stability. So it's a great forearm strengthener and grip strengthener. So mine, you'll see, gets a little shaky because it's still my wrist trying to balance it from going backwards and forwards.
Dainty wrists.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Anything dainty.
Anything dainty?
Yeah, I'm not usually described as a dainty lady, so I'll take it. So for this one, you're going to bring that elbow up right in front of the shoulder, so you have a 90-degree bend at the elbow, and then you have your bottoms up kettlebell, and then slow and controlled, you're going to open up, bringing that arm out into abduction all the way until your elbow is in line with your shoulder out to the side here. And then you're gonna slowly bring it back in this way. So you'll pause at both ends of the spectrum here, and then you're gonna kind of go back and forth. And this gets hard pretty quickly.
It's harder than you think.
It's harder than you think, harder than it looks. So the shoulder's gonna start to burn, and then that grip is also gonna start to get really challenging.
Yeah, so it kind of works in 2 planes. Obviously, you're rotating back and forth from the rotator cuff this way, but then the weight, again, distal from the joint, is wanting to either go take your arm that way or this way. So you're having to stabilize while you move, and that's sort of what makes it hard to do.
Right.
Okay, so then so that one, right, like if you do 12 to 15 reps, it's a pretty good one. You should fatigue in the shoulder, and again in the grips, all these have grip as part of how they work. All right, so let's see. I'm gonna do it this way so that you guys can see this a little bit better. Let me think. Yeah, which way should I go? Maybe I'll face. Maybe I'll face camera.
Yeah, it'll be good that way.
Okay. All right, so for this one, this is sort of a multi-part exercise. So you're going to lie down, you're going to do the kettlebell bottoms up, right? So you get into basically a chest press position. And then what you're going to do is you're first going to press, right, straight up. And then as you roll, you're actually going to press a little bit further. You actually get a little bit of the muscle serratus anterior involved, which is that one that sits here along your ribs. And then we're going to rotate. So it's first the initial press again, so I'm pressing straight up. As I roll onto my side to this position, I'm rolling off the mat. Oh, well, anyway, I'll be all right. So then, here you have to stabilize because, again, that weight is distal from the shoulder. The thing that it wants to do is go back like that. You're like, oh, don't let it happen, okay? So you have to control it to there, and you want to be kind of as straight up and stacked as you can be, and then again, kind of control it coming all the way back through. Back down, and then reverse. Then press again as you roll, stabilize, and you could do this multiple reps, or sometimes just holding here for like 30 seconds is a good way to do it also.
Yep, and then you'll see also Joel's his knees are bent, so you have to use your heels a little bit to push you over into that roll.
Yeah, so, and that definitely works the grip strength to do that. That one can also be done with it on the back side of the arm like that. That will really pull your arm back because the weight's on the back side in that position. So give that one a try. Either do, I would say do like 10 or 15 reps, or do like 3 sets of 30-second holds at that top position. All right, we got one more?
All right, grab my friend again. So last one's gonna be helping to stabilize the shoulder in an overhead position. So again, you have your 2 options. If you hold it here, another part of this, other than just it pulling you backwards that's different, is it does take out some of the grip challenge. So if you feel like your grip is just giving out and you can't do these exercises because of it, you can start with this type of grip and then make your way up into the bottoms up. So for the walking one, for overhead, you're gonna push up into that overhead position, and then truly you're just gonna walk, right? So you're trying to stabilize it with the kettlebell over your shoulder here. And this one's always a nice one to do for time instead of reps. So if you set that timer and you just have a nice controlled walk going, you can have this kettlebell up overhead, maybe 30 to 60 seconds.
Yeah, I would say at least 60.
Yeah.
Yeah, depends on the weight, obviously. But yeah, what's interesting about this one, just the natural motion of walking sort of makes it wobble just a little bit. We call that a perturbation is the term that we use. And that really, again, helps to work the rotator cuff. And you kind of do it one of 2 ways. Sometimes I'll have patients really extend up like this, especially if there's someone who does this sort of motion for a sport, or sometimes they'll let them let the shoulder kind of come down and the shoulder blade will rest against the rib cage. And you can try it both ways, to be honest with you. But yeah, at least do it for a minute, I would say, and just kind of walk back and forth. We call that the Statue of Liberty exercise. At least that's what I call it sometimes.
You've never called it that? No.
Well, now you can.
Yeah.
All right, so if you're having some shoulder stability issues and you have a kettlebell or kettlebells that you can try these with, give these a try. We found these have really worked well with our patients in building some shoulder stability, which helps them with pain and for whatever sport they're doing. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon.